New Ballarat potatoes, $2.99 a kilo, $5 a bag. Hey, get your hands off the beans, mate. Veal cutlets, come on, hurry up. $5 a tray, $5 a tray it is. Come and get these yabbies straight out of the bay they are. Come on, $8 a tray, $4.99 a kilo, $4.99. Yeah, mate, don't bruise the apples, mate. Don't come the raw prawn with me, mate. Come on. $9.99 a kilo. You won't get better anywhere. Hey. Get your hands off me watermelon. No, love, I can't do any better than $5.99. I mean, you're getting nearly a cost price anyway, right? Hey. Get your hands off me lemons, love. Hey. Bloody hell. I don't care about your bloody freedoms. You get your hands off my bloody lemons, all right? Jesus Christ, I don't bloody get hold of your melons whenever I want to, do I? Hey. Bloody freedoms. Jesus Christ, it's bloody hard to make a living here. Jeez. Hey, get that nose back inside that mask. Do you see my dick hanging out of my pants? Gee.
Oh! Hello! How's everyone tonight? My name's Quinlan. Welcome to Melbourne Musos Facechook Live. Very controversial week in old Melbourne town. But hey, it's school holidays. Oh, school holidays and bubble buddies and it's wonderful times. Makes you want to jump into an Irish jig with someone. What do you reckon? Anyway, my name's Melbourne Musos and this is Chris Quinlan Live. Anyway, it's the holidays, hey? Oh, my Lord. Hey, everyone, raise a glass for all the teachers who made it through the term, teaching your kids online the whole way, all right? Oh, my God, sort of thing. Me included, I suppose. I mean, one of the things is, oh, boy, the good old Australian internet. Hang on. Hey, doesn't quite reach my area. Hey, how are you today, you young whippersnapper, young Sonny Jimbo? How you going? Yeah. Hey. Thank you, Malcolm. 10 years in the works, and that's all you get. Hey. So you're probably noticing that I've got some funky sounds happening here. Irish jig time, Celtic. Okay, so what I've got here, I'm going to get stuck straight into it. I am going to take you through a couple of things tonight, get a few things happening. And what I wanted to do tonight was actually take you through a little bit of beyond drums and a little bit of musical theory here and all that. And use some of my triggers that I use. And that is a Celtic dulcimer, okay? That's a hammer dulcimer is what it is. Now, when you're doing Celtic music, it's such an interesting thing. I grew up with the stuff, right? In Dad's pub, all that stuff. And we're at the end of the school term. It's been a controversial week with different things in good old Melbourne town. We're getting through it. And what it is something happy, you know, something to jump around with. I mean, we've got the school holidays, let's all pack the car up and drive into the backyard. What do you reckon? So what happens is if we're going to do a kind of a Celtic thing and all that, what you've got to look into is the stylistic kinds of things that happen, you see. Now, one of the things that is big with drummers, big with everyone, but especially big with drummers, is time signatures. And one of the things about Celtic music is that its main kind of rhythms are based on essentially the jig and the reel. And the jig is in 6/8 time, right? Which is what we call compound duple time. So you get two groups of three. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that kind of thing there. And what starts to happen is that you would start to get that kind of Now that's almost like a kind of a blues thing that I was doing there. And what I've done is that I am using a mode, okay? So what happens is, for those who don't know, a mode is derived from the steps of a major scale. So if you are playing a typical do, re, mi major scale, okay, the modes are derived from each step, you see. Now, one of the big things in Celtic music, and what makes it so joyous and happy and all of this sort of business, is the Mixolydian Mode. Sounds like something like your rabbits get. Thank you, mother, for the rabbits. And what goes on is the Mixolydian Mode is derived from the 5th step. So you get, if we're talking C major, it's take it to the 5th step, C, D, E, F, G. And so essentially you're playing the C major scale from G to G, and that's exactly what I've got here. There's a little bit of running up the Jack and Jill there, the old Kate's Bush. And what we've got in there, sorry about that, I'm going a bit blue again, Pedge. God help us all. I think I'm going to go a bit bluer tonight, I'm not sure. It's a bit risque tonight. I've got something planned. Anyway, so what's going on here is that you've got the Mixolydian Mode. Now, before you fall into I'll never need that and all that sort of stuff, always think about scales, and for this matter, modes and time signatures, a little bit like ingredients in a cooking show, right? Because if I was to do something like, I'll just turn them off for a bit, just to show you. It's a little bit like when I talk to my students in regards to guitar lessons, I often say something like, okay, what are your 5 favourite bands or 5 favourite artists or 5 favourite songs or whatever? And if someone comes back to me and says, well, I really like Led Zeppelin, and I really like Jimi Hendrix, and I really like the Black Album by Metallica, I said, learn the E minor pentatonic scale up and down, like that, because that's their stylistic thing, that sort of business. If you love Miles Davis or something, get to know your modes, especially if it's kind of blue, I did a show earlier in the year about all that with dear Jimmy Cobb when he passed away, when everyone seemed to be dropping off the perch and all that. And what goes on with that is that if you were to sit down and say, let's do a Beatles night, so, early Beatles, do a twist, and write a song and use the Mixolydian mode, you're going to get early Beatles straight off. Put a 12-bar blues, make it all dominant sevenths, and go boom, rappa, ba bing, rappa, ba da. You've got the essential ingredients of early 60s rock and roll with the Mixolydian mode. I don't know if the Beatles actually knew it as the Mixolydian mode and all that sort of stuff. But one of the things about it is when you're doing a Mixolydian mode in its formulaic kind of thing, it is the first, the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, the flattened seventh, and then the octave. And it's the flattened seventh that gives you that sound. And if you're going to go into, say, G major, that has an F sharp in it, doesn't it? Okay, it's a seventh step, F sharp. The flattened seventh, you would flatten the F sharp to an F natural, and there you are. There's your G Mixolydian mode. But for all intents and purposes, you're playing the C major scale over the key of G. There you go. And that's what gives us that shifting of the tonality, and then adding in your time signatures, which is more my home base here for Facechook Live. What it is that you essentially get a kind of a formula, okay? And this is the kind of thing that film composers and, well, for that matter, all composers, but especially film composers, when they get called, okay, you've got a film, it's set in Ireland, and there you go, and everyone's happy at the party. And then what you've got is you throw in a bit of 6/8, you've got a lively Irish jig, you see? There you go. Now, if you're going to do, say, end up in Scotland, which is still the land of the Celts, you're starting to get into kind of a Scottish reel, you see. Now, that is simple Duple time, which is 2/4, you see. These are dancing key signatures because you've got 2 feet. So, you know, so you've got a Duple time, 2 main pulses in the bar. And what goes on is that Scottish reel, a Scottish reel is in 2/4 and usually in 16th note. So it'll be 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. There it is there, you see, you get that. It's a bit of a funky reel, isn't it? But there you go. Now, what goes on with that is that I've given you two main kinds of Celtic dances, if you will. I've got very hard to get now, a Bushwhackers band songbook. Who remembers the Bushwhackers? And all that was given to my dad as a retirement present and all that. And I've also got the Complete Book of Australian Folklore by Bill Scott. I'm looking at it now. I nearly said Smith. Sorry, Bill Scott. Who has that? And what happens is these books are full of this kind of gorgeous music. I grew up with it. Okay, so in Dad's pub. So what it is tonight I'm sort of going down this track. Last week it was a bit New Orleans jazz and second line rhythms, and that's their folk music, if you will, sort of thing, of that area and region of the southern states of America and all that. And now we're heading off to Ireland and Scotland and the Celtic nations, okay? So what happens is when you're getting this kind of stuff, you're getting this kind of really dancing kind of thing. Now, I've given you 2 things. I've done the Celtic. I've done with the Celtic music, I've done the Irish jig and the Scottish reel. They are interlockable. And tonight I'm sort of using the Mixolydian mode on my triggers. Okay. all that sort of stuff. But, I mean, it's not just in G, Mixolydian. I mean, you get your Aeolian mode, which is actually your natural minor, built on the 6th step. Do you want me to go through them? Okay. If you've got your major scale, that is the one, that is in modal definition, it's called the Ionian, okay, the first. Okay, now these are Greek names. So some of you out there say, hang on a minute, isn't the Ionian Sea next to Greece and all that? Yes, it is. That's where it comes from. So you get Ionian mode, which is really our major scale. Right? We have the 2nd step, which is the Dorian mode. The 3rd step is the Phrygian mode. Okay, that's yep. And then the 4th mode is the Lydian. We are talking about the 5th mode tonight, which is the Mixolydian. The 6th is your natural minor, which is the Aeolian. And then if you want to get scary, the diminished mode is the Locrian mode. Okay, so if you like Metallica's Blackened and all that, head towards the Locrian mode. That's what they used for that. Essentially, each one of these scales are like colours. Okay, so major is usually happy, you know, that kind of thing. Dorian is wistful. Okay, it's like a light minor. Carlos Santana liked using the Dorian mode, for instance. If you head off to Spain and start having a crack at your flamenco, I might change to flamenco, I might not very quickly. This is a Phrygian mode, okay? So what I've got is this. Hang on one second. Oh, I might change it up. I'm going to go to, where am I here? Orchestral Harp. Oh, dear man, this is going to be dramatic. Yeah. Jumped across from Ireland and I went down to good old Spain there. There you go. And that's a Phrygian mode, you see. So it's very dramatic. You know, that's why they love it in flamenco. It's one of the main scales. There you go. Now, where am I here? I'm getting back to my little hammered dulcimer. Hey, mate, I'm a bit hammered tonight. Thank you very much for your rap. Yeah. Okay. Ooh. Oh, see, very dramatic. And then what happens is that you go to the Lydian mode, which is quite dreamy sort of thing. I may as well go down the track, seeing I've taken myself down the rabbit hole of modes tonight in a drum lesson. Oh my God, what's going on here, Chris? There you go. So, I go to mallets. Every time I go Lydian, it's kind of dreamy. It's the Lydian mode. It's sort of dreamy in its own little way. It's almost on its way to kind of a... There it is there. Because the root note is on F, which is the 4th step of the C major scale, that's what I'm actually doing. I'm actually playing C major, but from F to F, if you want to think of it like that. What that does is with the steps, you get 1, 2, 3, sharp 4, not a flat 5, it's a sharp 4, 5, 6, 7, you see, and then the octave. There you go. Woof, there you are. And that's the Lydian mode, you see. And there's all these different things. Isn't that wonderful? Okay, I'm going to go back to the Mixolydian mode. And back to the hammered dulcimer. And there you go. And what it is what this does is gives me the chance to be able to talk about different things both rhythmically and harmonically and all that, you see. So there's all that, you see. So, yeah, it's one of these things that I love talking about. Last week it was New Orleans jazz, second line rhythms and all that sort of business. Tonight's a little bit more on the Celtic side and going at it with that, yeah. Now, I mentioned the two main rhythms there, the jig and the reel. The jig is in 6/8, the jig is up. And the reel, the Scottish reel, they're both interconnected. They do jigs in Scotland and they do reels in Ireland and all that. But what happens is that there is also, the reel is in 2/4, 1 and a 2, 1 and a 2. So you get that kind of thing. So it's beautiful music. You just go off and spend the night listening to it. It's fantastic. Oh, and man, you've got to be good to play it. Oh, my Lord, the speed. One of the reasons I'm a Jethro Tull tragic is because of all of that music that I was growing up with in the Dan O'Connell when I was coming up. And all that. The one thing that was missing was drums. Of course, we had the Bowron and all that. But as soon as I heard Jethro Tull, I said, that's the missing link. Oh, my God. And that's why I'm a Jethro Tull tragic, you see. Because they would use all this sort of business and they were precise. You know, the precision you need to be able to knock that stuff off. It's like a slow steam train taking off and then by the time you've warmed up, there you are. And there's one more, is the slip jig, okay? I first was taught it as it's an Irish 9. Oh, is it? Okay. And then slip jig comes in. And what it is with the dancing, there's a slip in there. So what actually goes on is that you're in compound triple time, okay? Which is, compound is anything divisible by 3, and therefore if it's triple, 3 times 3 is 9. So you're getting like a kind of a 9/8, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One of the great rock and roll tunes that has that in it is Jimi Hendrix's Manic Depression, right? So you go. Manic depression, my soul, oh, Manic Depression, there you are. There it is, strange name for what it is. It's one of the classics off his first album. But if I was to do that with less depression and more happy, there you are. That's what it is. That's what goes on. That's a slip jig, okay? Now, one of the things about odd time signatures that I bring up on a fairly regular basis is that I try not to argue about 9/8 too much with odd times, okay? Just because something's an odd number, like 3/4, that doesn't make it an odd time, okay? My best way to describe it is odd time signatures are pretty much like non-divisible numbers. So if you've got something in 5/8, it's an odd time. 7/8, Gina Lola Brigida, Spike Kiernan, you put up the picture last night, and she's gorgeous. Gina Lola Brigida. Oh, Tony, you love me and you live. I'm deeply in love. Apparently, it makes Scott Hayward go funny in the wee-wee, is what he put up the other night about Gina Lola Brigida. She's so beautiful. There it is, 7/8. Gina Lola Brigida, 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 Gina Lola Brigida. There you go. There it is, Gina Lola Brigida. How many times I've done that on the show? Pooh. Anyway, Spike's fault, mate. There you go. And what happens there is that that's an odd time, of course, because it's a non-divisible number. 9/8 is divisible, you see. It really just feels like 9/8 can easily be written like a jazz waltz, right? There it is there. But instead of going 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a, you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 kind of thing. I like that, you see. So that's what goes on. Here's a little thing. I'm starting to run out of time already, boy. What that is contrapuntal harmony, this sort of thing. So, you know, like what happens is that you can start to put different things into these beautiful rhythms and things. So you start to overlay the patterns and stuff. You know, we'd know this best as some kind of harmony, all that stuff, vocal harmony or whatever it might be, and all that. But you can also do it with what we're doing here. The other week I did the silence of the flams. So, and a flat flam is when you're doing it together. Been a long time. And what it is if you're actually playing flat flams, Gina. Gina Lola Brigida, Gina Lola Brigida, Gina Lola Brigida, Gina Lola Brigida. There it is. You see, that's what goes on. Now I'm going to start to wrap the show up. It's 6:29, and what happened last week? What happened last week was I did one of my old bebop detective stories. It was a bit risque and all that, but I wasn't counting on the feedback I got. Thank you for that. It was a story I wrote for Mixdown magazine like 20 years ago. Carl Karma, the bebop detective, all that sort of stuff. And what happened was there was a little thing called rudimentary, my dear Karma, with every detective one-liner I could come up with, all that stuff, and it took off. So tonight I'm going to do another one. and I'll wrap the show up with this one. Okay. So, yeah, I'm going to do another one. So what it is it's like bebop poetry, you know. Hey, Billy Palmer Jr., thank you, because you actually said it's a thing. And I went, this is for you, Bill. There you go. I hope we can catch up again soon at the Alex Theatre and all the beautiful people within. All right, here I go. Now, bit of a controversial week in good old Melbourne town, but we do have bubble buddies. Ali Lee. First time in 6 weeks you got to see the pooch. Marley the pooch. And here's to all our bubble buddies and all our people, beautiful people fighting the fight through it all, sort of stuff. And there you go. But I'm going to wrap the show up tonight with another little tale. I hope you enjoy it. Give me a little bit of editing cordial, and I'll have it up for you tomorrow. And then some more bits and voices next Wednesday night at 10 p.m. for Melbourne Musos on our beloved community channel 31. Okay, here we go. All right. This is something I've prepared earlier. Anyway, my name's Chris Quinlan. It's Melbourne Musos, Facechook Live. I hope you enjoyed a little bit of a thing about the Celtic side of things and all that. And, yeah, as I said, a bit of editing cordial, and I'll have it up for you tomorrow. I used to do a bit of a thing like, I'll try and get it up tonight if I possibly can. But no, I'll leave it till tomorrow, okay? And all that stuff. And it just gives me a little bit more freedom for your freedoms, yeah? So this is what I'm going to do. Here we go. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed the show tonight. And here we go.
Once upon a time there was a little chicken, and everyone called him Chicken Pickin'. One day, while he was outside playing with his B-bender Telecaster, up in the sky, a bird flew over and it dropped a tinfoil hat. And the tinfoil hat fell down and bit-bopped on Chicken Pickin'. Chicken Pickin' said, "Ah!" and looked up but didn't see anything. He looked down and didn't see anything. So he said, "Help, help, the sky is falling. Help, help, the sky is falling. I have to yell at Dan the Man." And he went running down the road looking for Dan the Man. As he was running, he met Henny Penny. And Henny Penny said, "Hello, Chicken Pickin', what's wrong with you?" And Chicken Pickin' said, "Oh, Henny Penny, haven't you heard? The sky is falling. I'm looking for Dan the Man." And Henny Penny said, "Oh my, how exciting. Can I go too?" And they went down the road together shouting, "Help, help, the sky is falling. Help, help, the sky is falling. We have to yell at Dan the Man." After a while, they met Loosey Goosey. "Honk, honk, honk, honk. Hello, Chicken Pickin'. Hello, Henny Penny. What's wrong with you?" "Oh, Goosey Loosey, haven't you heard? The sky is falling. We have to yell at Dan the Man." "Honk, honk, honk. That's terrible. Honk, honk, honk. Can I go too?" Then they all went down the road together shouting, "Help, help, the sky is falling. Help, help, the sky is falling. We have to yell at Dan the Man." And along the road they met Turkey Lurkey. And Turkey Lurkey said, "Gobble, gobble, 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 gobble. Hello, Chicken Pickin'. Hello, Henny Penny. Hello, Loosey Goosey. What in the world is wrong with you?" "Oh, Turkey Lurkey, haven't you heard? The sky is falling. sky is falling. We have to yell at Dan the man. Oh, that's terrible. Can I go too? And they all went down the road saying, help, help, the sky is falling. Help, help, the sky is falling. We have to yell at Dan the man. As they turned the corner, they saw a house, so they looked in the window. Inside was Dicky Licky. She was putting a mask on her bubble buddy, Fucky Wucky. Fucky Wucky couldn't do it himself because he was a bit tied up. So Chicken Pickin', Henny Penny, Loosey Goosey and Turkey Lurkey decided to leave them to it and keep looking for Dan the man. As they went down the road, they met Foxy Loxy. And Foxy Loxy said, hello Chicken Pickin', hello Henny Penny, hello Loosey Goosey, hello Turkey Lurkey. What in the world is wrong with you? And they told him, oh, Foxy Loxy, haven't you heard? The sky is falling! The sky is falling! We have to yell at Dan the man! Easy peasy, said Foxy Loxy. He's back there in my den, but Dan the man doesn't like to feel crowded, so I better bring you in one by one. Now, who wants to go first? Everybody wanted to be first to yell at Dan the man, but the turkey was the biggest. Me first, I want to yell at Dan the man. And he pushed everybody else away. Come with me, says Foxy Loxy. And they went into the hole together. Then there was a lot of squawking, and some feathers came flying, and the fox called up, next. Honk, honk. Me! I want to go me! Oh, me! It's all about me! Said Loosey Goosey as she pushed her way in. More squawking, more feathers, more squawking, and more feathers. And some feathers and more squawking. And then the fox said, next. Said Henny Penny, and she jumped into the hole. Squawk, feathers, and then squawks, and feathers, and then feathers, and squawks, and then no sound at all. Right then, Chicken Pickin' remembered it was his turn to make a bin isolation video, so he went home. So poor Chicken Pickin' never got to yell at Dan the man.
Hey! You only live once. Hey! Okay. So, my name is Chris Quinlan. I hope you enjoyed that little modern take on an age-old fable. I hope you learned something from it. Ooh. Again, buy a beer for your teachers. Oh my Lord. Okay, we've come through. We're on holidays. We've got some kind of footy finals going, mate. And the whole term. Hey, what do you reckon? Hey, dial, FaceTime. Oh, what's this young fella? Oh, he's on Messenger. Oh, I got to Skype this dude. Oh, the Zoom codes. The Zoom code, A, small case C, capital B. Oh, my Lord. Oh, look at me, 5 minutes late. Okay, thank you. All that sort of stuff. And then it cuts out during peak hour. Hello, Australian internet. It doesn't quite reach my area. Oh, all the, when everyone needs the infrastructure the most, you know what we've got to do? This is what we've got to do. I'd love and leave you. Hope you enjoy your editing cordial tonight and have a good holiday. Where are you going to go? Here. Okay. Whiz around in your 5K limits there and then drive into your back home and pitch a tent. Anyway, there you go. Hey.
See that
Hey! Hey! Oh, I'm out of here! Hey! Oh! Hey! Mwah.
Thanks for calling Telstra. We know that if you're calling us, you need our help, and we'll connect you with a team member just as soon as we can. It's a tough time for everyone right now, so we ask you to keep that in mind when chatting to our team. They're doing their best to help you out.
To make sure we can help you today, we require some details from you. Now, please just say or enter a phone number that's linked to your account.